Good morning, Metro Nui! Welcome back to another episode of the Barraki Talk Show. We're your hosts, the Mielik brothers,
Jacob,
Samuel,
Thomas, and we're glad you're joining us today as we talk our way through the weird and wondrous world of Bionicle.
There are many horrible places in the universe. Voya Nui may be the worst. Today we visit this island of doom and see how even the most inhospitable places can sustain life.
Dun dun dun.
life finds a way.
When I'm in an way competition, my opponent is life.
I don't understand you.
That was funny. Anyway, before we get too far, we actually have a super special guest star who's never been on the show before.
Extra special most bestest.
With a side of fries, we have Daniel.
Daniel, heavy breather.
Insert an audience cheering
I am
track
very
here.
honored to be on the show, and I must say I was a great admirer of your Rudaka episode.
Are you sure you were an admirer of the episode?
Yeah, exactly.
He loved the way we articulated our points. So, starting the episode off, what is Voya Nui? And the answer is a small floating island on the surface of Aqua Magna, which is the planet that Bionicle takes place on. And it's actually very far from Matanui, which is why the Matanuans didn't know about it, because it's like way far away.
It's like super far away.
Yeah, it's like New Hampshire to New Hampshire City Block 2. It's that far away.
What?
And it is a truly horrible place to live, just like New Hampshire City Block 2.
What are you talking
And
about?
I have here in my notes, it's really just awful, and then again, New Hampshire.
I am not following these references, if they even are.
Well, there's a
They
city
are
in
not.
America called New Hampshire.
No, there's not. I mean, maybe there is. It's not a city.
Wait, is this a spoiler?
New Hampshire's a spoiler.
America spoilers,
Is this a
guys.
spoiler for the world?
Spoiler if you ever visit America. See, I'm from Lithuania. I don't know all the geography.
No, yeah.
And so Voya Nui is called the Island of Doom, or its other fun name is the Daggers of Death. So you know you're in for a good time. The Metro Nui Ministry of Tourism wishes they could have these nicknames. And this island is frequently hit with droughts, volcanoes, lightning storms, earthquakes, dangerous rahi, and hurricanes. Just, in case you thought it would be fun there.
You gotta be like tough to live here.
Oh yeah, this is the like hardcore, edgy version of Matanui. It's like, what if Matanui just
What if you
hated your guts?
What if it just sucked to live there?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just terrible. You don't want to live there.
Considering like where the story goes to, it already sucks. And it's just going to suck even more.
Yeah. Honestly, its life just keeps getting worse as it
You
goes
don't
on.
want to live on Voya Nui.
It's
No.
horrible.
Yeah.
And so it is known to some Matoran universe inhabitants, even though it's on the surface of the planet outside of the universe. But legends of it have kind of spread throughout the universe, and a lot of people are at least vaguely aware of it. Hence, like, why all the characters are able to go there, which I think is interesting. Because Matanui, as a comparison, like, almost no one knows about Matanui at all. It's basically just the people that live there and Makuta. So
That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why.
I mean, I think the easier reason why is that Voya Nui was a lot easier to detect. Because how Voya Nui was formed is that during the Great Cataclysm, a part of the southern continent experienced extreme disruption, and it just shot straight up out of the dome of the southern continent onto the surface of the planet. And so
And it left behind a giant hole in which a
giant
massive
waterfall flows. Yeah.
flows down.
So people would assumedly know they're like, it's got to be up there, right? Like, I saw it with my own eyes.
Plus, the giant waterfall is probably also indicative of something missing.
Well, yeah, true.
And probably the giant hole out of the southern continent would also be
Which is being
indicative of
filled
that.
by a giant waterfall.
Yes, I understand. I'm just saying there's more to it than just a simple, oh, look, there's a nice
For
waterfall.
context, imagine if New Hampshire just shot up out of the stratosphere and left a big old hole
And
You'd
what
be
I'm
like,
trying
yeah,
to
I think New
picture,
Hampshire's out there somewhere.
what I'm trying to picture is then there's also a New Hampshire-sized waterfall coming down from the ceiling of the world.
Yeah, that's heckin' sick, bro.
So to me, the hole is less of a thing than the massive waterfall.
You need the hole to have the waterfall.
You do,
Jacob.
yeah. But you're not going to see the hole. You're going to see a New Hampshire-sized waterfall.
True.
When we get to Chronicler's Corner, I have some questions.
Okay. So
It's okay. We all have questions.
So, the geography, like what the island actually is a crescent-shaped thing with interesting features, such as the Volmai volcano, which Volmai roughly translates in Matoran to cursed place, because, it's Voya Nui and they can't have anything nice.
Right.
So this is a large central volcano that actually heats the entire island, because since the island's not really connected to anything and it's in like pretty cold waters, that's the only thing stopping it from freezing over entirely. It also has a large lake of lava in the center and is active.
Cool.
Yeah, which is, more fun stuff. The more downsides to it is that it's also running out of heat and it is primed to explode.
Great.
Which is just like, oh boy, either way you go, you're
So
done
it's like,
though there, bud.
it's like essentially like best and worst case scenario is it either freezes over or it just burns to a crisp.
Yeah. It's like, just choose which element you want to die to, pretty much.
That's really interesting that it's both running out of heat and primed to explode.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna
Like,
explode.
how does that work?
I guess the pockets of gases like build up, which is the explosive
Yeah,
part,
that
but
makes
just
sense.
running out of heat is general entropy, I would assume.
Huh.
So the other thing is that it has minor lava flows that go out of it, and it has minor eruptions all the time, because it's just the worst.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Nice long walks along the borders of Volmai volcano, not recommended.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
wave did not have any bad guys. The island was just the villain in it.
Yeah.
No, literally. You know what? Don't walk
Boy,
anywhere.
If I had a
Like-
nickel for every time Bionicle did an evil mountain, I'd have 2 nickels.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It looked at Zia and it's like, that's a good idea.
Rudaka looking at Voya Nui like, nah, no place like home.
Greg's like, yes, gotta do it again.
Greg takes Mount Volmai, and the mountain on Zia is like, now keys.
Whoa, love is not canon. Okay.
It's not canon.
So the next major item of import is the green belt. So this is an area of perpetual lush vegetation on like the left side of the island, and you're like, oh, that sounds great. No, because it is inhabited by many dagger spiders, and the Matoran don't live there, so that should give you an estimate of like how many dagger spiders are there, because they're in a drought, and there's just lush jungle all for them to go by, and they don't live there, so it's like, how many dagger spiders are there? And it says swarms of dagger spiders, and I'm like, okay, well, normally when stuff swarms, it must be small. There's no mention of dagger spiders being small. They're like roughly Matoran sized. So it's like,
so they're just kind of small Vizrak almost.
yeah, small Vizrak, except that they inject venom through their legs. So they just run up to you and you're done. It's like, okay.
Yeah, if I saw a bunch of human-sized spiders, swarms of human-sized spiders, I would not go anywhere near them.
Yeah, it's like, screw the jungle, bro.
Yeah, I'm out. Peace.
So the other cool thing is that this belt hides the entrance to the Mask of Life. So where the Mask of Life isn't really a spoiler. And that's why there's so much green there, because the Mask of Life's power is permeating up through the thing. So that's just a cool little tidbit about it. The one good place they have is because of a literal supernatural force on the island. So the next major landmark is the Ring of Ice. Guess what this is? Just take a gander.
Is
an
it a
ice
ring of ice?
You know what? You're close. It's a ring of ice.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a ring that encircles the entire island. And so
Wait,
this is,
what?
Yeah.
That threw me off guard. That was a curveball.
I know. So this is because Mount Volmai heats the whole island, right? So as it runs out of heat, the ice circle would close in towards the center.
Is this because Greg's actually secretly a fan of the flat Earth theory?
Yeah, he's like
Yeah.
the ice hole. The Taraga don't want you to know. But
It's like they don't know, but if you get over the wall, it's just nothing.
So there is one small break in the ice ring, and this is where there's a little like lagoon that has a lighthouse and a canyon fortress next to it. Now, I don't know who they thought was going to come sailing to Voya Nui, but it's nice that they did. Yeah. And also, it's the first thing you see in the Voya Nui online game, and the lighthouse actually looks really cool. I like the design.
I just want to comment really quickly and say that I love that it's a fortress that they built. It's not like, you know, a little city or some huts or, you know, it's like they built a fortress to monitor visitors. It's like,
considering the kinds of visitors they get, not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's like if you have anyone traveling to that kind of island, they're going to be people like, spoiler, like Axon and Brutica.
well, yeah, that's what he's saying. It's like, it's not a bad idea, but it is funny because it's like visitors sounds very, like, it sounds almost pleasant, and then you realize
It's
like,
on Voya Nui.
Yeah, it's on Voya Nui.
It's also like, what good is your lighthouse going to do at that point?
That's a good point. What is the lighthouse for?
Lighting things up in case you come at night. Duh.
No, you're right. They do need light.
Yeah.
Maybe the Matoran go out fishing on boat.
Oh,
back.
that would be sick. You know, they never mentioned that.
Man, that would be cool if they like caught a Takea shark and just like,
Oh, yeah, they're like, meat's back on the menu,
Yeah.
boys.
Because like being on the sea, like just going out to the ocean is literally safer than being on the island.
Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
sick.
this
That's cool.
It could make a fun short story.
Yeah.
I've always had a headcanon too that there's like a giant whirlpool just like right nearby where the hole is.
I don't know if that's canon. I'd have to dig more into
I
that.
don't think that is canon, but I do think
Because they don't mention it anywhere in the story. One other fun detail about the island is that the left prong of the island is called the Cape of No Hope.
This is so
Greg's
depressing.
like, I'm so clever.
I feel like all the previous waves, Greg was like, no, this is cool. Like, we're going to give them, and at this one, he was just like, his girlfriend broke up with him. So it was like, he's
like these people are gonna suffer.
he's the Cave of No Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, these spiders, they're going to eat everyone, bro.
Yeah.
At the age of 40, Greg hit his angsty teenager phase.
Yeah. So funny thing, in the Voya Nui online game, the Cape of No Hope, you go to it really early on, and there's a lava ape that is like pretty much unbeatable, especially early game. However, if you do manage to beat it, it soft locks the game. So it's the Cape of No Hope, all right.
That's actually
Amazing.
really
I'm like,
smart.
funny.
Genius.
That's crazy.
How does that happen?
Because you need to
Because-
cross a certain bridge, but if you kill the ape, the bridge becomes unpassable.
So you're just
Okay.
stuck?
Yeah.
That's
You
funny.
just have to
Reload the game,
restart
bro.
the game.
Yeah.
That's so evil.
Yeah. So the next interesting geographic feature is the Desert of Sorrows.
Wow.
Bro,
Yeah. I'm like, why are you naming this
bro
stuff?
there's got to be an
Well,
interview
because
where Greg's just
obviously
like,
they're all depressed and angsty.
Greg's
Yeah.
just like, I like to think of Voya Nui as like just an allegory for my heart. Really?
So the Desert of Sorrows is a vast desert that takes up a lot of the island's interior, and it is home to sand screamers. And these are Rahi that make horrible shrieks and can take down large prey because like they swarm around, and they leave no tracks. Like all the footprints and stuff disappear instantly.
Nice.
So imagine you're just walking through the Desert of Sorrows, and then you just hear horrible shrieking that debilitates you. Then you get swarmed by a bunch of little things, and then you're gone, and no one ever finds your body. It's like, oh, wow.
You hear
That's,
that?
wait,
behind
That's
us?
really cool.
Those are
Those
the
are sounds of the
shrieking
sand
eels.
screamers.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I'm like, that's sick.
I like the detail of like they leave no footprints is like small, but it also makes them so much more
I
interesting.
mean, it's crazy because like I can just picture it. You're wandering out, right? And then yeah, you hear the screams or the shrieks, and then you just see this like poof of dust, and then you're gone, and there's literally no trace,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like no footprints, just like it never happened.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it says
That'd
there,
be so depressing.
there were
a way to
no-
make Matoran disappear.
there
Yeah.
were no recorded sightings of the sand screamer.
Yeah, no one's
So
And
seen
they
it.
don't even know it was a Rahi.
So it is more of like almost like a predator or like horror type
Oh yeah, it's
thing.
definitely
yeah,
a-
you deal with.
Predator, like
Yeah.
almost like Chupacabra-esque, I would say,
Yeah,
where it's
yeah.
like it
Yeah.
maybe exists stuff, you know, whatever. Or maybe the desert's just alive and it's part of the mountain of Zia and it's just eating people. It's like, no, it was sand screamers, bro. Trust me.
I like to think that maybe the Sand Screamer is some sort of other entity besides Rocky. That'd be cool.
It's your mom. That's why it's so hungry.
Your mama's a sand screamer.
So the next one is the Cavern of Records. And you're like, oh, this doesn't sound too bad. And it's not, because this is a cavern that's near the Greenbelt that has a history of all the Voya Nui things and other historical records. The Paraka found it and destroyed the entire thing.
Bro, the Barraki come and they're like, is there anything good on this island? Okay. And they just go wipe it off.
Kill it.
Literally.
The Library of Alexandria, the Paraka did that.
Oh, yeah. I would believe. Dude, one of Hakan's first acts on the island, he goes through and he's with one of the Matoran. He's like, oh, there's a herd of Kikanolo. Kills them all.
Jeez.
Like, what? Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember in the comics, isn't the first part of the comics just like them wrecking havoc?
Yeah, they're just going around being jerkwads.
Yeah.
So there are also the Nui Caves, which this is a large cavern network that goes underneath the entire island, and it's deep because Voya Nui is like it goes really far down.
Yeah.
So the caves go all through in there, and no one's explored them all because you wouldn't want to. You're probably gonna die.
Be like trying to explore the archives.
Yeah. So then there's also Voya Nui Bay, and this is the big inner part of the crescent. So like just that massive area, and there's nothing special about it until we get to the events. So stay tuned for that. And then there's also the Matoran Mountain Stronghold. So this is the last remaining and most defensible Matoran village on the island, and it has a secret tunnel that leads to a lake of protodermis, which is cool. But since there's like very little natural rainfall and no way to really replenish water, the lake is slowly running dry. So it's kind of like the Ring of Ice, where it's just like, oh yeah, this is your ticking clock to when you just lose. Sorry, Voya Nui
Game over.
Matoran.
You lose.
So that's very sad. Before we move on to the next landmark, we're going to briefly cover the events of what the Paraka are and what they did, so that this last one makes sense. The events of Voya Nui's happen, everything's living peacefully, and then the Paraka show up, and there's a group of 6 evil, villainous Skakti who are super powerful, and they go around claiming to be Toa, and the Matoran are like, okay, yay, Toa are here. But then they're like, these Toa aren't helping us. They're forcing us to build gigantic fortresses and all this crazy stuff, and then they're making us drain the volcano, and they're not helping us find water. This is crazy. And then the Paraka are like, okay, we can't hold on to this facade anymore, so they use liquid from the green vat and Zamersphere launchers to hit Matoran with them, which enslaves them, like perfect obedience and control. And they get every single one except the 6 in the Matoran resistance.
Right.
So with that all being said, the last major thing is the Paraka stronghold. So when the Paraka come to the island, they're like, hey, Matoran, make us a stronghold. So the Matoran built this under the Paraka's command, and it is massive and has tons of Nektan guarding the whole thing. So Nektan are robots that come in 2 varieties. The first is stationary Nektan. So these are just like little turret things that just shoot you. But if they're destroyed, they will regenerate, which is a busted as heck ability.
That is crazy.
There's also mobile Nektan. So these can walk around and do stuff. And they're also heavily armored, but they don't regenerate, which is a huge bonus. In the Voya Nui online game, you fight a lot of them. Yeah, that's the stationary Nektan.
So ugly.
Yeah.
Which is weird because these things are also called Nektan. Are these the mobile ones?
Nektan are named after that guy, Nektan.
Oh, they're named after a guy.
Yeah.
Why?
Nektan is a Skakti warlord.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
So he just named turrets after
these are
himself?
No, the Paraka named turrets
The
after
Paraka
him.
named turrets. So, and the mobile Nektan are also roaming around the Nui caves when the Paraka are there. So, another reason not to go into the Nui caves. The Paraka stronghold also has a large vat of green substance in it.
We already know what this is.
Weed.
It's weed.
It is cannabinoid.
So, the other funny thing they have in the stronghold is a rodeo bull to practice riding Rahi on.
Is that true?
That's actually true. So it's in the
Nice.
trailers, and they're just like riding around on it. I didn't think the trailers were canon, but no, it's a thing that's actually in the stronghold. Like they have concept art of the layout of the stronghold, and there's rodeo bull, and they call it a rodeo bull in that art.
Wait,
That's
that
really
raises
funny.
so many
do
questions.
the Matoran use this?
No, the Matoran are banned from the stronghold. Once they completed it, they were completely shunted out of it. So that's kind of a bummer.
So the Paraka use it?
Yeah.
That is quite funny.
And the other funny thing, also in that trailer, one of the Barraka is in a cage, like rattling at the bars. They just have a large hook arm with a cage on the end of it. That's the one in the trailer. So he just got in the cage for fun, I guess.
Who did this?
I think it was Hakan. It was Hakan or like Avak or whatever. They were just like in a cage in the trailer. It's like, okay.
I remember that, yeah.
They also have a ton of stuff from the Barraka's past conquests, but I'm like, how did they get that stuff to Voya Nui? Because they didn't take anything with them when they went to Voya Nui. So how the heck did it get there? Unless they were like going back to the main universe and then grabbing all their stuff and just moving it to this stronghold. So if anyone has answers for me on that, I would like to know. But any questions before we move on to inhabitants? So the inhabitants are Matoran, largely, and they are a fairly large group of Matoran, but they were smaller and weaker than normal Matoran. However, they did have special tools with unique powers to make up for this downside. So, yes.
Just really quickly, I don't think we specifically mentioned that there was antidermis in the Barraka stronghold, but the image we show is from the comics that clearly shows Zaktan next to the giant thing of antidermis. So astute viewers,
well, yeah, even in the story, it's like you can figure out what it is quickly in the story.
Yeah.
If any of you new viewers who haven't gone through the whole Bionicle story figured it out, I don't know why I'm pointing at Samuel here in the studio. But
You are
make sure let us know.
you are a very sharp viewer if you figured that out. You
So
are-
sharp.
Sharp like a piece of cheddar
You'll
cheese.
get free merch if you mail them $100.
True.
We'll give you 2 stickers for $100.
Too bad they're not going to give out their address.
So
It's in India, so.
once the Barraka came, the Matoran were all enslaved. This isn't funny, Samuel. Stop laughing.
Enslavement. Ha! Take that,
That's not what
history
I'm laughing
teacher.
at. For the
No.
record, I'm not laughing
Sure.
at that.
Oh, yeah.
So once the Barraka came, the Matoran were all enslaved, save for just 6. And they became known as the Matoran Resistance.
The Matoran Resistance.
The Matoran Resistance.
And just by pure coincidence, happen to have one of each type of Matoran.
yes.
Destiny. Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny.
Jacob.
Get it,
Protodermis.
Coincidence doesn't
Sorry,
exist in the Bionicle
All
universe.
destiny, bro.
I'm sorry.
So these Matoran are as follows, and I quote, Garen.
What are you quoting?
Sources.
You're just, oh,
Duh.
bro.
So he's an Onu Matoran, and he's the leader of the Resistance. So he's hardened, but not cruel or hard-headed, and he's a good leader and a good person, which is pretty rare in Bionicle.
True.
And what's cool is that his like suspicion actually helped him sniff out the Barraka's lies. He's like, I don't think these guys are Toa. I'm gonna go form a resistance.
Okay, wait. So when the Barraka, when they built the stronghold for the Barraka, were they under the impression that the Barraka were Toa?
Yes.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, why did they help?
But
them
they were
build
like,
a
why
stronghold?
were these Toa enslaving us and making us do hard labor?
Yeah, when the Barraka showed up, they pretended to be
Vizola
Toa.
would fit
My
right
guess is
in.
there's also, like, things implying that they're not very good Toa if they are.
Yeah,
like,
they
Yeah.
throughout
just
the
by
whole first 2
slaughtering
books where
things.
they're just like,
First thing to do is, what is it? Slaughter those certain.
yeah, kill all the Kikanolo.
Like, we're Toa. They're like, okay.
I
Yeah.
also love how they don't try to explain themselves at all. They just do this stuff.
Yeah. No,
Or the-
literally, all the Matoran are like, they're not telling us
Do you
what they're
think-
doing. Like, any logical doubts you'd have, the Matoran in the story have. But it's also like, they could be Toa. We've never seen a Toa. And also,
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
say no, they could just obliterate.
And
Yeah.
aren't the Barraka, like, used to just, like, people doing what they say? Like, aren't they pretty powerful for, like,
they're super powerful. Like,
even,
so
like, historically?
they're used to getting their way.
Mm-hmm.
So, so his suspicion did sniff out the Barraka earlier, allowing him to create the resistance. And his special tools are twin pulse things that shoot an energy ball that grows in power the further it flies.
Ooh.
So it does dissipate after a certain distance, which is the cap on why it doesn't just burrow into the center of the earth. And what's cool is that he uses this to dig for water holes. So like he'll just go around the beach, just shoot it into the rock, be like, any water down there? Shoot in the rock. Which I'm like, that's really cool use for that.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So the next one is Balta. He's a Tomatoran, and he's the right-hand man of Garen. So he's also Garen's best friend. Aw.
How sweet.
No,
Yeah.
that's good.
So, he's a small scale inventor, like he does normal on the fly practical stuff, and he's a pretty competent warrior. His special tools are repeller blades that rebound attacks when they are crossed with the exact same amount of force. Right?
And no, they're not arrow
I was
slicers.
gonna
Okay,
say,
Not
don't
arrow
ask.
slicers. Completely different things. you
Totally
know?
different.
Yeah, because earlier in this, or not earlier, but later on in this, I won't spoil it. But which is really useful against the Barraki because they punch really hard. So every time he crosses, there's a boing flying across the room. It's very funny.
It's like knockback in Minecraft.
Yeah. Next is Dalu. So this is a Gamatoran, and she is the warrior of the group. So she's prone to anger and always ready for action. So she's like, come on, I want to fight. And like when Vezok first shows up on the island, she's like, oh, you're a water toe, right? Like, I have huge anger issues. What should I do? And Vezok's like, go kill people, take over the village. And she's like, I don't think a toe of water would save it.
She's like, I want to do it, but
I love that that they kind of switched up the vibe on a water character for once, like
Mhm.
rather than just having her be like this very passive, like.
And they mentioned that explicitly
Yeah.
in the story.
I
feel
that.
like this wave definitely shakes things up as far as
Oh,
like
yeah.
oh,
This
yeah.
is a
teams.
major
This,
game
like,
changer.
definitely
Yeah.
just takes everything and jumbles
Yeah.
it up.
Because Metro Nui was like setting the status quo. This is taking the status quo and adding chemical X to it.
Wow,
Literally,
deep
bro.
cut.
That's not
Powerpuff
a deep
Girls is
cut.
not
I
a
was gonna
deep
say,
cut. It's also just a straight up meme format.
That's true.
So she's also like good-hearted and logical, which is cool for when she's fighting because she has the coolest tools in my opinion. So she has chargers, and when like put together, they enhance an attribute of one being to an insane degree for a short time. Right? So if you're just walking and she hits you with it and increases your speed, you'll just go like flying straight into a wall like Mach 2 billion. Right? If you're just looking at something and she enhances your sight, you see down to the molecular level. If you're like leaning on a rock, she enhances your strength. There goes the entire thing you were leaning on.
that's crazy.
It's
That seems
really
like
cool.
overpowered.
It
yeah, I
is
was gonna say
the most overpowered, but that's why she can only use it 3 times like in a row before she like passes out.
that's what I was gonna ask because I'm
Mhm.
like, what stops her from just being like boom, boom, boom?
Yeah.
boom,
That still
boom.
seems like if you gave it to an already really powerful character, it would just be like
I don't think
broken.
you'd want to give it to an already overpowered character because like you don't need to. It's better
Mhm.
for fighting against overpowered characters. Because I don't know if it sets it to a certain limit or if just an increase on the base stat. But
Mhm.
either way, it's as effective in a Matoran's hand as anyone else. So that's what I would say about. And Matoran are like generally more stealthy. So it's
Mhm.
good for sneak attacks because since it doesn't leave a trace, they don't know where you are, right? You can just hide from anywhere and they're just
It's
ping
kinda
ponging
like-
all over the place.
It's kind of like a trump card for Matoran, especially against like such powerful things on their island.
Oh yeah, she solos Vezok with it.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, I'm like this is one of the coolest things ever.
So she can use it on herself.
No,
Okay.
not that I know of. I don't know why you'd want to, because every time it increases it to such a degree, it's always detrimental.
So she doesn't solo Vezok with it. She uses it on
She
someone
uses
else.
the power to solo Vezok.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. So the next member is Velika, and he's my personal favorite. So he's a Pomatoran.
Why is that? Why, Thomas? Why
Yeah,
is
Thomas, why do you like
your
Velika so
favorite?
much?
Huh?
Huh?
Hey,
Why do you like
hey,
Velika?
hey.
Because
buddy.
he has Onua's
You all right, buddy?
mask. Not the answer you're looking for, were you there, buddy?
I really like this character.
No, it's because he has the power carvers, which are like the coolest Metru Toa tool. Anyway, he's a Pomatoran, and he's the inventor of the group. He copies the...
He invented the group?
That's pretty
I thought
funny.
that was
Good
Garen.
Garen.
Yeah. So he's the one that actually copies coppers. He's the one that copies...
They'll never catch me, Thomas.
He's the one that copies the Zammersphere launchers because they're originally made by either Avak or Hakan. And so then the Matoran Resistance steal one, and then Velika's like, oh yeah, I can make like 1 billion more of these. So that's how the Toa and Nika get their Zammersphere launchers. He also makes them multi-shot, which is really cool.
That's cool.
That's
Mhm.
super cool.
He speaks almost exclusively in riddles, that Garen is the only one who can translate.
Of course.
Dude, and this is heckin' funny when it happens because one of the later Matoran, Kazi, hates his guts because of it. And when I say he speaks exclusively in riddles, that's true. He never says a normal sentence. It's always like, the Guko bird flies where it thinks it'll find the most water. But what of the humble bird, or what of the humble worm who is early? And Garen would be like, that just means he's hungry, guys. That's how all his conversations go. I do like it, though, because his parables and, like, sayings actually make sense. Like, when Garen, like, translates them, you're like, yeah, that's what he meant to say. And it's useful and helpful for the situation.
It feels like it has, I feel like if I was Jesus' disciple, I'd feel the same way. I'd be like, just why are you talking in parables? And he's like, I'm going to tell you what I mean. It's like, oh, well, that was pretty simple.
Let me be clear.
He's like, if you really look for the meaning, you'll find it. But let me just tell you the meaning because it's pretty straightforward.
Your skulls are too thick there, buddy. So his tools are power carvers, and they can cut through pretty much anything. That's it. That will be a common power for tools during this wave.
I'm noticing
What was
that.
Greg's obsession with giving characters weird speech patterns? Like they couldn't...
He ripped that off George Lucas.
Really?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
No, George Lucas ripped it off him.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
George Lucas looking in the future like, Valika's the sickest character of all time.
I mean, think about it this way. When you have to write 8,000 different characters, anything you can do to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, but that one time he does it with tree speak.
Yeah, he
He's
does
like,
it
I
with
hate
tree
this.
shoot speak, and then he does it with Valika, and then on top of that, Nuju is in a similar vein, which is how can we make communication less clear? And it's like, yes.
Do you think
like
though,
this?
like Greg as a writer, do you think there's like little characters that he is kind of allowed to like express his like actual like writer side more?
Oh yeah,
definitely. Where like it's like, oh, I actually want to like say some poetic things right now, and this is bionicle, so like let me just do this.
In the Inferno book, there are actually a few quotes where I'm like, this is beautiful, and I put them down so when we review Inferno events or whatever, I'm just like, I can see through like the scholastic veneer, like actual like cool prose and poetry, which I'm like,
I think
I like it.
This year of Bionicle was when they just took Greg off the leash. They were like, literally just go crazy.
No, this was when Greg like broke himself off the leash. He was like, no, I'm doing this. I am making like a work of art.
Murder.
Voya Nui was symbolic of Greg's release from the
innocence.
Lego shackles. He was like, I'm busting out of here. We're shooting out through this atmosphere.
He's actually
Let's do this thing.
Talking about like the weight that corporate Lego is putting on him to create things, and it's all about like this narrative of him being like, no, I am making a masterpiece, and you're not gonna know it.
We got to do a Greg rap.
Greg
versus TLG fight.
So speaking of Greg, Valika was also Greg's favorite.
Obviously.
Good choice,
Yes.
Greg. Nice.
That says so much about Greg.
That says so much about Valika, especially. Hint, hint, Chronicler's corner. Hint, hint.
That says so much about George Lucas.
Oh.
What does this have to do with George Lucas?
Everything has to do with George Lucas. Funny speech patterns, Yoda, ripping off Greg, remember?
Yeah. I remember.
Okay. That's the first time, folks.
Oh.
So, next up we have...
Whoa.
It's either Pyrook or Piruk. Or it's probably something completely different that isn't
Probably.
fanatical.
Paruk.
Piru K. That's my guess.
Piru K.
Perukia.
So he's a lay Matoran.
Pyrook. Rook.
Okay, see? It was
Pyrook.
Pyrook. So Pyrook is a lay Matoran, and he is the spy of the group.
Ooh.
So he's timid sometimes, and he's a cowardly guy generally. He's nervous, you know? Like he'll rub his shredder claws together when he's nervous. However, when the chips are down, this guy may be the best stealth infiltrator in the entire series. Because, first of all, he's nervous for a lot of good reasons in that he's going to like infiltrate the Paraka stronghold multiple times. It's like, if he gets caught, he is done, right? They will just blast him to bits. But he is super stealthy. He gets past the Paraka and all of the fortress defenses multiple times.
That's
just
really
sneaks in. He's the one that stole the Xammer Sphere and was just like booking it out of there.
Amazing.
I think it's interesting how he's like we've talked about how they shook up the characters.
Mhm.
Like he's a Lamatoran and he's cowardly, not very graceful.
Mhm.
He's stealthy.
Mhm.
Like literally none
Yeah.
of like what we've seen in Metro Nui and Mata Nui is like loud, crazy, like
Daring,
daring,
yeah.
risky or risk takers, right? And it's like
Mhm.
loves music, loves to just yell. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's not at all how he is.
No, I think it's a cool shake-up. And then he has shredder claws that are razor sharp and can probably cut through anything.
Wait,
Wow.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So many things that can cut through anything.
I told you it's going to be a common theme moving forward. So, next is, and the last of the group really, last and probably least, Kazi doesn't get very much to do. Kazi is a Komatoran and he's the realist of the group. An interesting note, he met Axon first, way before anyone else. And he was the first to suspect that the Paraka wanted the Mask of Life. Because he heard about it from Axon. He's like, pretty sus going on over here. So he also hates Velika's riddles, as previously mentioned. And he has a really cool tool. He has echo forks that when you bang them together, they make a super loud noise and like kind of direct a sonic blast. So there's one sequence where Garen and Kazi are trying to get through a 3-foot thick stone door that's said to be so thick only like Radak could open it. And so Garen and Kazi comboed their powers and blew the entire thing open.
Cool.
I was like, oh,
That's
that's
cool.
sick as heck.
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much all he does.
Okay, we have two other big guys.
Yeah, moving on to the Titans. So we got Axon. So I won't go in depth here because we'll go more in depth, but he is an inhabitant of the island. So he's a giant axe-wielding guy, and he's super powerful. And I mean super powerful. This guy is, wow, literally stated to be one of the most powerful beings in the universe. Which I'm like, that's cool.
Oh, you thought it was Kreka. No.
Well, one of. It's obviously not talking about Kreka.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brutaka is a giant evil sword guy, and he is also super powerful, about as powerful as Axon. And he is working with the Paraka. He's the one that's like giving them information about what to do on the island and what they're trying to accomplish.
Guess which one has the axe?
Brutaka. Garen.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thomas
Axon
and I
has
were
a
both
sword,
right.
actually.
So, last, we have the Rahi for inhabitants before we move on to events. So, the Rahi, we have the lava hawks. So these are like hawks that are immune to lava, and they actually dive in and scoop insects from the lava for sustenance.
How are there insects in the lava?
Considering there's lava eels and lava hawks, I would assume it's another type of animal that's just immune to lava.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Generic Rahi. Just assume there's Rahi in it and everything.
Yeah.
I'm imagining now
Because there are
like a
Rahi.
lava blue whale that just like filter feeds through like rivers of lava.
Wait, that's actually kind of
That
dope.
That
sounds
would
really
actually
cool,
be
yeah.
really cool.
That is way cooler than I thought it was going to be a joke, but I'm like, no.
Thomas was
I
like-
want to see that. Get on
Yeah.
that.
I was like, look how stupid this. Oh wait, no, that's, wait a minute.
Thomas is like, I'm so smart without even trying.
Thomas is like, no, I try to be dumb and it just doesn't work.
Hollywood, call me.
I'm just a genius and I can't stop.
Hollywood.
So the next up is a lava crawler. So this thing's not immune to lava, but it is a huge 6-legged thing. And I say that because we don't know anything else about this. It was one playset for the Paraka, and it's just like they hollowed out part of its shell to put like a weapons emplacement, and that was it.
That seems really awful.
I mean, they're the Paraka, so
Yeah, true.
yeah.
Why is it? So we don't know anything else. So we
It's
don't know why it's
attracted
called
to
a lava
lava,
crawler. Okay,
and it is
that's
hard to
why.
control. Those are the only two factoids.
So it just likes heat.
No, lava.
Interesting.
If it liked heat, it would fly to the sun, Samuel.
Can it fly?
No. That's why it's down here with the lava.
And
Settling
invented
for
the
second
Voya Nui
best.
space program so it could get to the sun.
Voya Nui was trying. It was shooting.
That's
So-
its existential crisis. Is it's like I want to be at the sun, but I just have to be down here with the lava.
Lava crawler hearing the tale of Icarus. He's like, he was so close.
The lava crawler is now the most tragic figure in all of Bionicle.
Yeah.
The lava crawler when the 10 billion lions are going to fight the sun. Take me with you.
Can we please have a whole episode just about the lava crawler?
They would be 5 seconds long.
No,
So
Greg.
there was a thing called the lava crawler.
Greg is going
and
to
it
be like, no, I've
existed.
actually thought about this a lot.
Greg's like, no one asked.
Greg sits down for the podcast. He's like, no, guys, we need to talk about the lava crawler.
We will know we succeeded if we ever get Greg on their show.
Well, yeah, obviously.
I think you will probably.
Bring him out of retirement, fishing him up from New Hampshire. I don't know where he lives.
Where are you getting? What is your second
Where am I
section
getting New
of
Hampshire from? The United States, Jacob. That's where it is.
You're right, bro.
Well,
From
it's
the
not
big-
there anymore
yeah, it's
because
in
he ripped
space.
it out and it's in space,
Somewhere.
you know. So, but he's referring to the concept of New Hampshire,
Mhm.
not the actual geographic
So
location.
does that imply that there's a mask of New Hampshire,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
so you can control New
We need
Hampshire?
to we need to destroy the mask
yeah,
of New
yeah,
Hampshire.
that's what I was gonna say.
I'm so sorry for any viewers in New Hampshire for not being meaner. You guys are the worst.
I
I'm
was
so
gonna say,
sorry for
y'all
all the viewers
deserve
in
it.
New Hampshire because you will soon be no more.
Yeah,
Please evacuate New Hampshire.
just kidding. We love you, New Hampshireites.
Moving on, New Hampshire,
New Hampshires.
the New Hampshires. Kika Nolo also live on the island. Although I'm assuming they all got wiped out by
Lived.
Hackett.
I was
On
gonna
the
say they
island.
lived. Yeah, exactly.
Past tense.
There are also Gaffna, which are like large rodents, not as big as ROUS's. Second Princess Bride reference, but they're really annoying to fight in the Voya Nui online game. There's also the Burnak, and these are tiger-like Rahi that are smaller than Muwaka, but way more numerous.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they come in all different flavors. So you got ice, stone.
Do they
Air.
live in the lush? What was it called?
They live
The-
like pretty much everywhere on Voya
Okay.
Nui. Yeah, the green
The
belt.
green belt.
And then there's also rock ussel crabs. So this is a variant of ussel crabs whose only distinct trait is they are really aggressive. They will kill you on sight, which is very funny.
Hardened Puku.
Yeah, Puku after 2 minutes in jail.
Puku's like, war hardens the heart.
But that is the main overview of the island. So any questions
wait.
before we move on to events?
You missed one.
What?
Lava apes.
I already mentioned the lava apes.
Okay.
Anyone
but
I
did
mentioned
you want
earlier.
to expound on that a little
The
bit?
lava
There's-
apes are apes made of lava.
There's nothing really
Just
else
kidding, they're not
about the
made of
lava
lava.
apes except that they can shoot like grappling hook tentacles to like reel you into them, which is really
What a
bizarre.
weird power.
Dude.
Do they live in the lava?
No, they live in the Cape of No Hope. As far as I know, there's only one. It's just chilling there.
Good to know.
It's so bizarre. I'm like, okay.
Does it just look like a big ape, or does it?
Imagine what a spiny stone ape looks like, and that's exactly what I thought it was. And until I'm like, oh, that was a lava ape, but it wasn't even red. It was like a reddish brown.
It has a Paraka face.
It looks like a Paraka
Terrifying,
Neanderthal.
actually.
Wait, no freaking way. That
Yeah.
is terrifying.
Why is it? It's so weird.
Why does it have a Paraka face? Nobody knows.
Yeah, it's a bizarre creature. all around.
Is that exactly like? Is that out
This
of
is
the
the
game?
one from the game.
That's straight
yeah.
up the model from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's scary.
So, as we hit events, what happens was that a large group of Matoran were sent to Karzani. So, Karzani is an island where Matoran are sent who are bad workers or whatever to get like
Or
fixed
broken.
up and back in, working shape. But Karzani sucks at his job and he failed to do it well. And so they ended up smaller and weaker than normal Matoran. But he's like, fine, take these sick, overpowered tools and just be gone with you. So he shipped them all to the southern continent.
So they're just a mistake, essentially.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, no.
Turns
He's
out there's
like,
a
"Oh,
lot
man."
of those in Bionicle.
I like
Yeah.
how he didn't just destroy them. He's like,
Well, he has Karzani has a weird relationship with Matoran. Let's just put it that
Wait,
way.
Did you want them to all die, you sick freak?
Okay, wait. This maybe isn't Karzani like considered like a god?
He's not a
Sort
god,
of.
but he's really powerful. When we
he's
get
a
into the Toa
demigod.
episode, demigod is a
Isn't
good way
he
to put
also
it.
like talked like his name is used like almost like a cuss word sometimes?
It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Karzani's not a good thing to be.
Okay.
It's also Karzani is the name of a lot of things in Bionicle, actually.
namely Karzani, and Karzani.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is not Karzani the plant.
No,
This
this
is
is-
Karzani the being that we were actually hinting at.
Karzani the dude. Karzani the Matoran
Not to be confused
repairer.
with Karzani the place.
Yes, which is where Karzani lives.
Karzani,
and where
the
all
man,
the Matoran were
the
shipped
myth,
to.
the legend.
Ooh.
Literally, he is a
Yeah.
legend. Anyway, so they were all sent to the southern continent, but their fates get worse from here, my friends. This will be a common theme on Voya. Because they go to the southern continent, and that's when the northern central part of the southern continent, which is what Voya Nui is made of, flies through the roof of the universe. Now, you may think, that sounds really bad, but it's really funny, actually.
Funny for you.
Yeah. But it also was really bad for them because a ton of them died on the way up, including their Turaga. And now they're stranded, free floating on an island on the surface of an unknown planet. When it shot up, Greg said that it survived because it was, quote, well built.
Wait, their island?
Their
Yeah.
island was well built.
It was just a sturdy boy.
What does
Sturdy.
that say about their Turaga?
It's a good
You
point.
know what? He was a hero, okay? This was a Toa
That's
who
why they were.
sacrificed
That's why they were
himself
put on the island.
be
is
the
'cause they weren't
Turaga
well built.
of a bunch
That's
of
a good point.
rando weakling loser Matoran.
I mean, he was probably already
Okay.
there. Then like 20,000 Matoran came out of a portal. He's like, bro, what's with all these runts?
I just feel like, just imagine like sitting in Pittsburgh and just being like, it's just a normal day, and out of nowhere you just start going through the clouds.
You're like,
just
man, I thought this only happened in New Hampshire.
out of nowhere, like you're just standing with your like papa, right, and just splat. You're
Wait,
like,
their
oh,
Turaga was
frick.
Joven?
And just like blast through like whatever this is, and all of a sudden you're just in an ocean, and you're like, and your dad's just dead,
Yeah.
and you're just like, oh shoot.
That's why I have so much respect for the Voya Nui Matorans. Like, they just take the hits and they keep on rolling. Because, like, what haven't we seen at this point, really?
Yeah.
Imagine if they get to the southern continent, they're all being shipped out, and the Turaga there is like, man, you guys are really weak. You should go to Karzani for repairs.
Dang.
Oh, that would have been funny. Anyway, so a ton of Matoran and Turaga Joven died, but none of the Matoran on the island died from drowning because they were moving through the water so fast, like they didn't have time to drown.
Wait,
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, so I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So none of them drowned while shooting out, but none of them were flung off the island by massive amounts of, like, smashing through the top of the domed universe and then having, like, so much force propelling them upwards and all this water coming downwards that none of them were, like, flung off or, you know.
You would be surprised how vague the details of this event are. Because I was wondering, like, were they all in the caves or were they on the surface? Because they're on the surface and they hit the top of their dome, they're done. Like, they're gone.
Yeah.
How's anything on the surface still alive? Wouldn't it be, like, crushed
How is
flat?
there a volcano?
I think that's
like,
my question.
Wouldn't
Is
that
like,
be the pit, like, wouldn't that have been what punctured
I think,
at least the
I think
first
my
part?
ultimate question is like, would just all the organic matter, like if there was any organic matter before, would just get wiped off?
Yeah,
Just-
so
it'd
it's
just be
just
a
a
blank
hunk
slate.
of rock.
It'd just be like the hardest substance that would be left, and then would the organic matter then come after it had already come to the top, or did the organic matter somehow just stay?
I'm guessing just the stuff on the surface was not damaged
Somehow.
somehow. All the plants were really sturdy, guys. You'd not believe how sturdy these plants
They're
are.
sturdy. How? Wait, we also got to figure out how hard is the dome?
Oh, the dome of
barrier
the universe?
Yeah, the dome of the universe.
Weaker than Voya Nui.
That puts things in perspective.
Yep.
And if that's canon, then that is very interesting.
So, yeah, all of the Matoran are now up there, and there's the aforementioned waterfall going down into the southern continent. So, once floating, Mount Valmai erupted pretty much immediately and formed a new landmass in the bay. So they're like, oh man, sweet, we have so much more land to work with. Let's build a village here. Let's call this village Mara Nui. So, for 700 years, that was like their main village, you know? They're like, okay, we love this village. Stop me if you think you know where this is going.
Okay, wait. I
Probably
don't.
nowhere good.
So is
Yeah,
Mara
probably to
Nui
the
like
bottom of
a
the
small
ocean.
island that appeared after it already came up?
So the island shot up, Mount Valma erupted, spewed a bunch of lava into the bay, which solidified into a new landmass. Kind of like how you were mentioning on Mata Nui.
Yeah, I was asking if it
Manguide.
expands
Mhm.
Okay.
the landmass at all.
So that is actually true on this one. Like, there's still lava running out into the bay. like making.
Interesting.
Yeah. But after 700 years, because this landmass was supported by literally nothing underneath it, it just cracked off and sunk straight to the bottom of the ocean, carrying hundreds of Matoran with it.
And that is never talked about
And
again.
they're all
yeah,
dead.
we
And there's
never
nothing.
see them again.
Greg
ever.
literally wrote that and was just like, well, we're good.
He's like,
Yeah.
wouldn't this be a massive bummer if this happened?
Yeah.
Write
Yeah.
that down.
Yeah, we totally don't see these guys.
No, that's
Yeah.
not important.
So then a tradition was formed on the Voya Nui Matoran where like every year they would throw like carvings and masks into the ocean to remember their fallen comrades, which I'm like,
Wait,
kind of cool.
that's really cool.
That is actually really
Yeah,
cool.
like
A touching way
like-
to remember them.
It's weird how there's like some like really wholesome moments where you're like, wait, this is actually like, it makes sense. Like this is this is like how people would act.
So then 1,000 years after the cataclysm, so 300 years after Mara Nui sank to the bottom of the ocean, a drought was happening and Rahi were still a major issue. But then the Toa canisters wash up on shore, and that's where the Paraka come in. So they're bad news bears. And because the Matoran...
They're not bears.
Wow.
Yeah, I would also second that.
But they are bad news. So I was like,
They could be bad news lava apes,
but they're not lava apes.
but the lava apes have Paraka faces.
They look like
It has
lava
like
apes.
a Neanderthal Paraka face. Anyway, so then the
I don't know
Paraka
what
do all
just
this stuff.
happened.
I don't know if like I'm too dumb or too smart to understand what just happened.
It's probably a little bit of both.
A cool event that does happen is that when Garen and the Matoran Resistance figure out they're like, okay, the Paraka are definitely evil, we gotta go tell everyone. They're going to the village to do it. As they're just about to arrive, everyone is gathered there because the Paraka told them to gather, and they start advancing on all sides and just start unloading Zamosphere after Zamosphere into the villagers after each one goes through the villagers enslaved and starts go to grab other Matoran and hold them up for the Paraka to shoot.
Nice.
And the way it's framed in the story is the Matoran are just watching this and it's like framed like a slaughter of
It's
a
the
village.
Gorman massacre
Yeah, literally.
of Bionicle.
You're just sitting there and he's like, the Matoran are just screaming, huddled in circles, just waiting to get
That's
mowed
terrifying.
down. I know. I was like,
That's
holy
insane.
cow.
Awful.
Like, it was a legitimately emotional scene. I'm like, oh, this is horrible. The Paraka,
That's because
they're
it's-
bad news bears.
That's because it's like literally just genocide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Paraka.
Well, it's not literally genocide
Genocide.
because no one died.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Well,
what
lots
do
of Matoran died
Zamospheres
just-
do?
The
Not
Zamospheres enslaved them.
at that
It's
moment.
mental
Oh, okay.
genocide.
Mental genocide.
Yeah.
The Paraka did also kill a lot.
They
of
do kill a lot of Matoran, yeah. This leaves the Matoran resistance to fend for themselves until another group of Toa's canisters wash on shore, and out come the Toa Nuva.
Dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun dun dun.
dun. Okay, wait.
And more in-depth events will be shown during the Paraka and Toa stories. So I'm not finishing that story now because it will be shown. I promise you guys.
Yes.
But it's interesting. I promise.
Yes, dear viewer, you were wondering where were the Toa Nuva this whole time? Well,
They were in canisters.
They were in canisters.
Yeah. So, overall thoughts.
I think Voya Nui is an interesting setting, and we've talked a lot about it, and several of the like our viewers and commenters and everybody have said that like Voya Nui makes for a very like uninteresting location. Like when you think of Matanui or Matanui, you can think of these very clear images. When you think of Voya Nui, it's very sparse and barren, which it's meant to be, and given its origin, it makes a lot of sense why it'd be very barren.
Mhm.
It probably all got washed away, right? So it's like, for that reason, it's not quite as interesting as a location as Matanui or Metronui so far. Like in my mind, I can't picture it nearly as, or I can picture it well, it's just not as interesting to picture, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, but where it's going and the elements that are set up are cool. I do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Can I add to that or like say it in the way I would explain it? Because I like the way I would say it better.
Go ahead, give it a shot.
I feel like Matanu is very like archetypal, right? And it's just very like elements, right? And it's literally like cut into like pizza slices, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they did that like essentially they've done that twice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and
'cause
it's like
Metronui was-
Metronui
and then
is-
everything's very archetypal and there is a story, right? But it feels like the story is almost behind the archetypal nature of Bionicle.
Mhm.
Whereas because like this wave tends to, it's like kind of subverting all of our expectations of of like these archetypes, and in doing that, it's kind of delivering a less complete world with very specific changes that are mostly to do with the story. And it becomes more about the story than like this continuing the image of Bionicle.
I like that. I actually like that the sort of bleak and more barren setting gives room for the characters to just really shine. And I think that that's why we end up with some of literally the best characters in all of Bionicle.
I think
in this wave in particular.
If I had to just summarize it, like based off of what you were saying, Daniel, is that like in Voya Nui, the setting serves the story, whereas prior to this, the story served the setting. Right? So
yeah, and I think that's also shown with, because Voya Nui, I think the reason it doesn't feel as fleshed out, first of all, we only get 1 year with it, right? And second is that it is so hostile that it doesn't feel like a real place, right? Mata Nui has dangers and Rahi and whatever, but like there's nice areas, there's cool areas, there's areas that are just normal biomes. You're like, oh yeah, I understand this. I can see this being an island. Whereas Voya Nui, you're like, this is a literal death trap. Everything is bad here.
How I
It's
think
Australia.
about that's what I was just gonna say. It's like Mata Nui is Madagascar, and then Voya Nui is Australia.
And I think there is an aspect of it where like the story's picking up momentum, so it is like you're not gonna stay on this island for very long, right? Like the story has a purpose, but this like the island's really a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Like the island's like
true.
not meant to be like lived on, right? And then you kind of hit that beat, and there's just this momentum throughout the rest of Bionicle that you're kind of carried through, where it's not as much about staying in one place, because that's kind of more like I feel like the island of Mata Nui is more like that kind of place.
Yeah. Well, and going back to the setting serving the story, it really does serve the story, because while I don't like it really as an island itself, it prompts the characters to just be so interesting and dynamic, right? Because to survive on Voya Nui, you have to be doing something. You can't lounge around. Like every time we see the Matoran resistance prior to the Paraka, they're like looking for food or looking for water or trying to scout out resources or whatever, right? When the Toa get there, just going across the island is a challenge. So they're like, we got to get across this massive ravine. We got to watch out for these giant lava flows, whatever. So it really enhances the characters because it just gives them so much to do and overcome in like free-form ways. So
one thing I also really like about Voya Nui is it kind of builds up the scale a little bit as opposed to like Mata Nui. Like you're imagining these just large, expansive deserts, these big, like this huge volcano with these just like rocky cliff faces and stuff. And it's like everything is like bigger and more imposing and grander, and you know, like,
which is funny because it's way smaller than Mata Nui.
Yeah, the island is. Yeah,
it feels like almost lawless in a way, like almost like both in the storytelling, like the changes in storytelling, and just like the characters that survive there, like just by nature, you can't fall into an archetype anymore. Like you are like even Axon, right? All these like these characters are just like brutal, and like you don't really know what they're gonna do.
Characters like Brutaka.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but yeah, it's really cool because like when the Toa eventually come, Dalu mentions, she's like, maybe Matoran don't act that way, don't act this way on Metro Nui because you're all pampered and whatever, but like on Voya Nui, you have to survive, right? Because everyone who acts that way, they're all dead. So yeah, it's just the edgy younger brother, maybe edgy older brother, edgy middle child. Bionicle.
You know that's right.
It's also funny going from like Metro Nui Saga, where it's like we are the authoritarian police state, to like there's no government here, just do whatever you want.
There's no rules, y'all.
Yeah,
that was like what Daniel was saying.
Authority
just very
to
lawless.
anarchy.
Yeah. It's kind of like the beginning of in Hunger Games, where you finally get to the point and like the gates open and you're like, oh my gosh, I was being sheltered before, and now it's just killing.
The rules are gone.
That's funny that you mentioned Hunger Games, because when you were describing like the pampered Metro Nui Matoran, I immediately thought like, because this whole time we've been discussing this, I'm like, this reminds me of something. What is it? And now as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, this is Hunger Games. And Voya Nui is District 12.
It's definitely
right?
District 12.
It's just, they have to do what it takes to survive. And it's like, and then there's District 1 and it's
that-
like, oh yeah,
that
or the
gives
capital.
way to like the coolest characters, because
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, these characters are like
They're hardened.
they're hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's nothing else, we move on to Chronicler's Corner.
Chronicler's Corner.
Okay. You are now entering the Chronicler's Corner. The following content may not be appropriate for viewers unaware or unacquainted with the wider Bionicle lore, as major plot points and reveals will be spoiled. If you wish to avoid this section, skip to this time in the podcast.
1 hour, 19 minutes, 54 seconds.
Viewer discretion is advised. Anyway, so the Nui Caves, this is the first Chronicler Corners bit. The Nui Caves were the upper parts of the caves that Avmatoran lived in. So part of why Voya Nui is so long, like goes so far down into the ocean, is because it was making up the dome, the top part of Carter Nui. So when it blasted out, it took part of Carter Nui with it, and the Nui Caves are some of the caves that the Avmatoran lived in, because they lived in the top of Carter Nui.
Interesting.
So imagine you're like coming home from a long day of Avmatoran work, and your house just shoots up, and you're like, oh, I just paid it off. Then you have to go take a loan from Loan to Kea Sharks, and they're just like 5,000% interest.
So, did you say, and sorry if you did just say this, but did any of those Avmatoran survive?
It was never stated that there were any Avmatoran there.
Oh, okay. So it just took part of their habitat, but it didn't necessarily take any Matoran with it.
Correct.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know.
The second fact is that Velika is a great being in disguise.
Ooh.
This does not affect anything in this era.
Wait, what?
Yep.
That's why we were
Bro.
asking Thomas why Velika was his favorite.
Mhm.
That's insane.
Yep. He's a
They
great
just kind of
being.
threw that in there.
Yep.
Yeah, because later on, he's revealed to be a great being, but it was confirmed that even during that time, it was just a Velika.
He's a
whole time.
messianic figure.
No, he's evil.
No, that's
never mind.
Matoro.
Yeah.
Never mind. He's more like the Antichrist.
No.
No?
That's Makuta.
He's like
He's more like a Stalin.
a Stalin.
Stalin. Wait, no, he's not red. Dang it. He's like Mussolini, brown coats.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I nailed it, guys. Niche reference to World War II. You might have heard of it.
What's that? Never heard of
Wait,
it.
so really quickly, how does a great being transform themselves into another sort of being? Like
Sci-fi plot convenience.
Okay.
Yeah, my
Duh.
destiny.
Like doesn't
The
matter.
great beings are stupid OP, bro. So, moving on, the third fact is Voya Nui is known to some, and the Legends of the Universe, specifically the Dark Hunters know, the Order of Mad and Nui knows, the Brotherhood knows, Karzani knows, and the Turaga also know about it. So it's like pretty much every major faction is aware of Voya Nui. They just didn't feel like bringing it up until now. They're like, yeah, the Mask of Life, it's there, you know, out of the universe, just going
Wait,
around.
Is
It's
that
like no one was concerned.
is that a coincidence that the one part that housed the Mask of Life just and
Yes.
shot through the grate?
No, it's destiny.
So that's just like it's just like out of everything within the dome, the universe dome, just
It
just shot the Mask
As
of
far as
Life
I know, it
outside of
actually
it.
is just a pure coincidence. Like, it's just a thing that happened.
And Matanui's like, frick, bro. Frick! That's
He's
the
like,
one
of
thing I needed.
course. He's like, this kind of stuff always happens
This
to
is
me.
just
Yeah.
my
It's
luck.
like when you drop your phone, it just hits the wrong angle. You're like, oh my gosh, what are the odds?
He's like, bro, Makuta doesn't have anything on me. Frick, bro.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I never thought about how prevalent the information was beforehand. I'm like, and they also could have seen it in prophecies or whatever. So that's
Uh-huh.
another way they could have gotten that info.
Which is presumably the same reason why Matanui was more hidden, is because like something like Voya Nui would probably be, if you wanted to rationalize it in terms of the GSR, right? It's like an error code, right? Voya Nui is an error code. It's like this was an accident. This wasn't supposed to happen, right? Whereas Matanui is an intentional part of the design of the robot.
Yeah,
And
just
so
activating at a
therefore-
wrong time.
Right. And so therefore it wouldn't trigger like a error code per se. And so like if you're looking at the stars and which are supposedly Matanui's thoughts.
Not supposedly,
right?
they straight up are.
Then you're gonna see stuff about that because it's like, oh, something's wrong. I gotta fix this. So
that's true.
I think that would be a way you could rationalize it if you wanted to. Whereas Mata Nui, it's part of his disguise protocol, and it's so by nature you wouldn't want it to be known.
I think that also in
that's fair.
a lot of these cases, like at least with the top 3, they're all organizations which would have members throughout the entire GSR.
Well, the Order of
Mata
Mata Nui knows because they already had guys there.
Well, yeah, but you
and
know what I'm
Botar
saying?
could just check in and be like, "You still good?" They're like, "Yep."
Yeah. So it
And the
wouldn't
Dark
be.
Hunters know because the Order of Mata Nui knows.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be not that point, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be difficult to assume that they would all there were probably people who literally watched Voya Nui rocket out of the southern continent, and they were like, okay, I better let my brothers know that a giant part of the island
and again,
or
you can't
the
really
GSR just
miss
ripped
it.
through, right?
Yeah.
There's a giant hole where it used to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
So it's like once the Dark Hunters, the Order of Mata Nui, and the Brotherhood all know, it's not a far stretch to think that it's like, oh, okay, Karzani somehow heard about it at some point, and it's like, or the Turaga.
I guess the thing is, everyone seems to know. No one seems concerned.
Yes,
that's the weird part. No one's like, oh man, the Mask of Life is just up there doing who knows what. Like if a random stray rock hits it, we're all gone. Like I would be.
I don't think anyone
more
really knows what the Mask of Life is or does.
No,
really.
the Order of Mata Nui and the Brotherhood of Makuta are very aware of what
they
it does.
know that it exists, but I don't think they.
No, they know what it does. Like they're telling people, like
is the
it
mask
will kill everyone.
Is the Mask of
it
Life
can resurrect Mata Nui, right? Like.
Is the Mask of Life like something they know? Like this is the heart of Mata Nui. Like we need this.
Well, that's what he said.
Well,
they know that it can
the Order of
resurrect.
Mata Nui knows it because they're like, Toa, you got to go save Mata Nui, and the Brotherhood knows it because like you got to go kill Mata Nui, right?
Why doesn't the Order ever do anything?
I mean, they've Axon and Brutica.
I
there.
know, but why? Like Axon and Brutaka don't seem to like actively go after the mask themselves, do they?
I remember
don't
correctly,
go after the mask. The mask is well guarded in its chamber. They're just there as an extra line of defense. They literally say that.
They're
like,
just trying to protect.
So that's what I'm saying then. So you were saying like, why is no one concerned? Obviously they are concerned. They put members of the Order there and made sure that it was still kept in its chambers where it'd be safe.
Would there be a way to get it back inside the dome after it rocketed up there?
There is a way.
There is a way, but no one seems to be taking that option, I guess is what I'd say. Because even if I'm like, okay, it's well guarded, I would still want it in the universe, right? Not just floating on the surface of a water planet.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was just...
No, that makes sense, though.
The island doesn't really seem to be going anywhere. And I would guess that everyone sort of seemed to figure that it's probably better off and safer outside of the universe. Because the people that want it protected, it's farther away from the people that want to get to it.
That's true. It is pretty difficult to get to.
There probably is just like objectively more life inside of the universe than outside.
Yeah.
Especially Makuta life.
Yeah,
which
true.
Like, so actually how it went is Mata Nui's like, oh shoot, Makuta's trying to like kill me, bro. And it rocks, it just randomly, it goes through and he's like, oh, yeah, bro. Mask of Life is just
he has like a southern accent.
Of the universe.
Yeah, bro.
He's like, it's just my luck.
I also don't know or I want to know how Axon Brudaka got to
Brudaka.
Is there?
They were on there when it was still part of the southern continent.
Is there a canon way just to get outside of the dome?
Well,
teleportation.
And also technically
Brudaka probably took
the channel from Metro Nui to Mata Nui takes you outside
it's just
of
a tunnel.
the universe.
There's like the Matoran like Karzani, the island was like one of the ways to get, you had to go through Karzani to get to Voya Nui, so presumably there was a way that led up to it somehow. So
I assume like the central section of the GSR is probably just very convoluted and interconnected in all those ways.
I mean, I assume if you could just swim up the waterfall, you would also get there, right?
Yeah.
But that seems really difficult.
And because all the water is going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how waterfalls work.
Yeah.
Did
I don't think
I'm
you
trying
do.
to, like,
They're
wrap my
called
head around this, like-
waterfalls, not water rises.
Yeah, not water New Hampshires.
This is definitely gonna have to get cut. But like Rudock. No, just kidding. No,
Mommy? No.
the
That's gonna get cut.
the mask of life getting sent outside of the dome. Did that give Makuta an opportunity to take control of the Great Spirit robot, or did that make it harder for him to take control of the Great Spirit robot?
Well, the Mask of Life doesn't really have anything to do with controlling the GSR or not. The only reason that the Mask of Life affects anything is because it has a failsafe built into it, where if so it has two features, right? It has two things that it's designed to do in regards to the GSR, right? Number one is as a way to revive the Great Spirit if it has to.
Okay.
Number two is that if that doesn't happen in a certain amount of time, the Mask of Life will kill all life inside the universe. So it actually has the ability to wipe out all life inside the universe after a certain amount of time. Basically, the idea is to do like a hard reset. So it just kind of like, it assumes that something went wrong. And so it's like, okay, time to reset. So it just wipes everything out.
Well, it was also a failsafe in case the Matoran universe inhabitants were getting a little too uppity and the Great Beings are just like, boop, bloom.
That's insane.
Which in the case of like the GSR coming back and trying to destroy all of Barra Magna, probably a pretty fair failsafe.
So as Makuta, really, you kind of want the Mask of Life as far away as possible from the GSR.
Which is why he ejects it. And
Yeah.
he puts Mananui's spirit
into the mask
into
and
the
throws
mask
it away.
and then
Yeah.
That is
launches it
literally he
into
takes
space.
the two things that he doesn't want near him and just
Yeah. To me, the most reasonable explanation why that particular chunk of Voya Nui managed to escape is because that's where the Mask of Life was, and it's like the strongest section. It's like a vault,
Yeah, I
essentially.
like to imagine it was like a vault where it's just like, okay, it's meant to be self-sufficient, cut off from other stuff, which made it geologically unstable. So when the Great Cataclysm did happen, like it didn't have as much to latch onto, it just blooped. And that also explains why it's so sturdy, because like you want to make the Mask of Life out of some sturdy stuff. And like even when they're going down to the chambers and whatever, trying to get the Mask of Life, almost all the walls are just straight up indestructible. It's like no matter what you do, they can't be destroyed.
There's like a reason it's the most brutal, like
Challenge
immovable
gauntlet.
like island there is.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then they're just like, okay. And when it's inside, they're like, okay, we're gonna make this like a literal like tank, and we're gonna put two people from the Order of Montanui on it. And
Well, the Great
protect it.
Beings didn't do that. The Order of Matanui did.
Order of Montanui.
They're just like, yeah, we feel like it.
There,
Are there any more questions?
Samuel had questions.
Yeah, I had two. One was a thought, because you were saying to like honor the Matoran who went down with Mara Nui, they toss masks and other things. I could just, this would have been the funniest way for this to happen, because we know that Descartes gets the Mask of Life at some point, right? Or he finds it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so how that happened is the Toa, the Anika, and the Paraka were fighting over it. And at some point, it just gets like out of control. The mask gets knocked out somewhere. And it just happens to be on the day that they like go through this commemoration. And Matoran just he's like,
oh, I forgot to
look,
bring a present for the Marnu
yeah.
Matoran.
And he's like, look at this. There's a mask right here. And he just picks it up, tosses it into the ocean, and the Paraka and Nika both like freeze. They're like, go!
I
would
just
be really
obliterates
funny.
the Matoran.
For what it's
so
worth,
good.
the Mask of Life basically does just fall into
Yeah,
the ocean.
no, it flies. That thing schmoos.
That is actually really funny.
Yeah.
So my other question was, where does the lava come from?
The volcano.
Where does the lava for the volcano come from?
Presumably there's
volcano?
some sort of like generator of some sort that is no longer connected to its source, which is why it's running out of heat,
Isn't
right?
Oh, because you're saying like volcanoes in real life pull from the giant bunch of magma underneath the Earth's core.
Yes.
isn't
No
the like at least
Well,
in the
this
pictures
volcano-
There's
I
a
found,
cord
There's a cord.
But
yeah.
the cord is
It
not
doesn't
where
siphon anything
because
through
they
it.
literally walk through the cord. Like
Oh,
they travel
okay.
up.
Well, the
cord
cord is actually made of solidified lava. From
Yeah,
the
because when
volcano.
Maranui
Oh,
broke
yes,
off,
it dribbled as it shot up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
When Maranui broke? No.
Samuel.
when Maranui,
It's from the lava.
Maranui
apes.
anchored
Oh
it.
yeah. That's
So
right.
in
That's
the
right. I
original
remember.
concept art for Voya Nui, the idea was that it was going to be like a piece of wire or tubing that had caught, and that's what the cord is.
Mm-hmm.
But they later retconned that to be the cord is made of. It's like solidified lava.
Which I don't like as
actually
much. I
doesn't
think
really make a
wire
ton of
tubing
sense.
makes way
Yeah.
more sense. The whole mechanics of Voya Nui just don't make a lot of sense at
That
all.
said, the volcano is protodermis. It's actually molten protodermis. It's not lava.
Makes sense.
I mean, but it's same
from
effect.
Yeah, but my point is, it's not a natural volcano. It's probably very similar to like the Great Forge or the volcano on Mata Nui.
The Great
where
Forge, they just heat up with stuff, like with heat.
See, it's really.
It's probably similar to Mount Mangai.
Manga is fed lava through Tametru.
Yeah.
Right. So it's probably similar to that in that it's like comes from a power source somewhere and then is like flowing out, which is why it's finite and limited, right? Because its source where it's getting the power from is no longer connected to.
Just Steve with a lava bucket, just bloop, and it's like drooping down.
Yep.
And then also there's protodermis, liquid protodermis on the island as well. The protodermis lake.
That's what their water.
But the rest of the island, I mean, parts of the island, some of the island is real elements, like the ice is real.
Yeah, the ice is real.
And all the water around it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, but I thought I understood how Voya Nui functioned, and now I'm realizing that I don't. Because
We'll get into it more with Maranui.
Just think of it this way. It's a dying piece of something that was designed to be more or less self-sufficient, like Texas. But it can't live on its own.
like New Hampshire.
It's just like so tragic though. Like you're like this mistake of a Matoran. You get put on this island. Then the island goes through the dome of the robot.
Yeah.
And then all of your friends get broken off and fall down.
Yeah.
And then the Barraki show up.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then all the people who like know about the island are like, yeah, we're gonna die no matter what.
And that's
Right.
between the droughts, the hurricanes, the earthquakes, the lightning storms, the
Totally.
volcanic eruptions.
I think the wildest part, the saddest part about that too, is the fact that they don't even know that their friends in Maranui survived.
Yeah. They're completely
they're just
unaware.
down
that is
there.
actually really sad.
Yeah.
Like that's tragic. And I mean, a lot of them died, but
but
like,
not all of them.
not all of them.
They're like, we survived like the third island transfer.
The
We're
Maranui
good,
Matoran
bro."
are the only ones who have it worse than the ones on Voya Nui.
Yeah.
Because not only are they fighting, like,
You know, that's not true. I think they actually have a cooler and more chill life because they have an instant win button against the Paraka. Like, first of all, they can just wait till like a certain hour and nothing's active. They can just do whatever. And then after that, they can just shoot air bubbles. And they have air bubbled cities that the Paraka or the Barraki just can't
You're
touch.
right.
I mean, that's sort of true, but also, like, they have to fight a constant battle, like, trying to get air and survive. You know,
It's not a constant
like-
battle. They just go out in the harvesting hour, use the Hydruka, and just get air, and then they're good.
Yeah, I guess.
I think they survive.
They
just out
have
of
a cushy
pure-
life, those Maranui Matoran.
I wouldn't want to have to live on a timer all the time.
I wouldn't
though.
want to have to live in either of these places.
Yeah.
I did think of a theory of how Voya Nui survived without destroying the surface. When it shot up, it like rotated so the bottom, the pointy bottom, bored through the dome, and then when it hit the water, it like buoyancyed up to be upward facing.
And that would explain why the lava just went and made a little tube.
That's my only possible theory for how it could have happened. And I don't know why
I
none
think
of the
there could've-
Matoran would have fallen off if they're upside down,
Yeah,
going
true.
8 billion miles an hour. But their survival doesn't make sense anyway outside of the caves.
True.
Yeah, nothing really. That whole thing doesn't really make sense.
I need someone to explain to me how it works.
I think it would be actually super cool if, like, what happened is, yes, they would have had to be in the caves is the only way for life to have made any sense. But the actual, like, rocketing out, bursting through the dome, and then forming a landscape it could have been just like insanely quick erosion, essentially. So what happened is it was actually a much larger section of a mountain or a mountainous, like a mountain range. And when it shot out, a lot of it broke as soon as it hit the dome, right? And it's like, and then as it shot up through the water just rushed off it, basically eroding it at a super fast rate, right? And then once
so the
it came
volcano
out,
was just a pocket of lava
Correct.
inside there.
yeah.
I could see that.
That's
That
a
is
sick
cool.
theory.
So that's why it's very rocky and jagged. And it's like, because it wasn't, that's not what it looked like on the southern continent. It would have been a much fuller and normal looking. And then it just got all washed away.
There's
And
concept art that the original idea that Christian Faber had for it was that there was a whirlpool. This is where I got the whirlpool idea from. Was that there's a whirlpool and it's pulling the pieces of the island toward it, and that's why it creates that like U shape. So it's actually like dragging bits of the island toward the whirlpool, and it's actually really cool. That's the whirlpool where the giant waterfall goes down.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, that's pretty much it for Voya Nui.
cool.
rad.
Dope.
I'm
Okay.
so excited for this. I love
Yeah,
this
I can't
era.
wait to get into the stories because up next we are doing the Toa Nika and all their events, their juicy, juicy events.
The Toa Nika finally.
Finally,
My favorite
guys.
Toa team.
The best Toa team, not to be confused with the Toa Haga.
I
These are the
must-
best Toa team outside the universe.
I must
Better
say,
than the
I'm
new
like,
I'll say it.
I feel like I'm overjoyed that you guys are starting my favorite wave of Bionicle. I'm also like conflicted because I'm also really sad that we only talked about the island.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like, this is.
But
There's
Yeah.
so many good things
So
to talk about in
cool.
this era. I mean, literally, like every bit of the lore that I can think of, I'm like, yes.
Mhm.
I have
Yes!
so many questions.
And I think part of what I like about this era of the lore is that it functions as an actual story.
Mhm.
For the first time, maybe ever, it's a linear story.
Which is why it was weird to cover Voya Nui just as an island because so many of the parts of it are part of the story, right? It's
Right.
like, how do you cover the Paraka stronghold without talking about the Paraka? I can love it though. It's so good.
Is as from a storytelling standpoint, I can't help but wonder, like, maybe I'm just making this up, but it does feel like the ultimate like reversal is like, because the first one it's like the pods show up and it's the Toa, right? And then
Yeah.
this one it's like the pods show up and it's like the furthest thing you could get to from Toa.
Yeah,
That's very
And- and it-
intentional.
yeah, it just feels like the most. It's not a reboot, but it's like, yeah, don't drop in.
Yeah.
Gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they really shifted hard into this like edgy, like more, like
More rodeo bull-esque.
like they wanted to grab that teenage audience, right, and like really get those, kind of
Mm-hmm.
those vibes, and the marketing leans hard into that, like really hard.
It was
Yo,
like the
Paraka.
distinct shift in Clone Wars, right? Like
Mhm.
Clone Wars has a very distinct shift, particularly in season 3, but really noticeable in season 4,
Mhm.
where it's like it was a kid's show, and now they realize that they can do so much more with it than what they originally thought they could do. And so it's like you end up getting a much more compelling, darker, but not like they're not intending it to be just dark for the sake of being dark. It's
Mhm.
like it just needs to be weightier, more serious, right?
Mhm.
And it's like
Because it's the logical consequences of the universe.
exactly,
Right?
yeah. And so I feel like Star Wars does that well with Clone Wars in particular, and Bionicle does take the steps in that direction and
Mhm.
does do it well ultimately.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
I like it. Well, if that's all, let's say a special thanks to our guest star, Daniel.
Thank you,
Daniel.
Daniel.
Heavy breather.
Daniel.
Thank you.
you.
All you fans, I can
Thank
tell you guys are just, your mouths are watering and you want to be where I am. But let me say, you're not where I am.
The
I'm
reason
where
your
I am.
mouths are watering is because he has a big old bowl of mashed potatoes
Yes.
right in front of him.
And
yeah,
a turkey.
perfectly buttered.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
turkey, yeah.
Smooth and buttery.
Oh yeah, bro. And I'm sitting on top of a pile of Bionicles.
Mhm.
That sounds very uncomfy. Ow, it hurts. Anyway, with that all being said, good night, Metro Nui. This brings us to the end of today's podcast. If you enjoyed the discussion, please follow us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you like to watch instead of listen, you can also find us on YouTube. The Barraki Talk Show is only made possible thanks to viewers like you. Thank you.
And I must say, I was a great admirer of your Rudaka episode.
Are you sure you were an admirer of the episode?
Yeah, exactly.
He loved the way we articulated our
I
points.
I've drawn some fan art for you guys.
Oh, no.
I'm just gonna-
He really just
Prep the
felt it
incinerator.
with his whole chest.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
My
Wow.
whole-
This is, yeah.
He's
wow.
like, I'm so glad you kept me abreast of the situation.
That's the episode where I got hooked. Like I went, these guys are gonna make it.